Because I'm just fixing sound. Let's put it fucking Jesus. This day, my lord. So Instagram's not working, or Facebook's not letting me stream all of a sudden. It's been just one thing after another. So I'm going online right now. I'm just trying sound. Guys, I am so sorry about that sound tonight. Shit. It was totally horrible. I don't know if it's good now yet, but I listened to it and my buddies told me it was okay. Not acceptable. That was absolutely horrible. No, it wasn't clear. Thank you for helping me out, brother, but yeah, that was unacceptable. So we're gonna see if we can fix this sound, and I'm gonna listen to this thing and see what the hell it sounds like. Another thing. If I can fucking do it. There we go. There's the sound check. But notice it's not streaming on my. So there we go. That's so much better. I don't know what the fuck was going on with that, guys. The other thing that's interesting is like, even though it says I'm connected to my main account, I can't stream. If you look at Nathaniel Bomberger, my personal account on Facebook, it's completely shit. So I came back online because I felt bad. I don't like to do shitty. I mean, it was good. I planned the content tonight. I had I had an agenda. It wasn't just, even though it looks like I'm improvising. As you can see, I'm not very good at improvising. So I'm a little bit annoyed at the sound. So I'm just going to fucking torture myself and continue to go live until I get my message across, and I'll have to fix this and edit. Because it's important. What I was trying to say was important, and the sound sucking fucking sucks, because my whole rant is about not rubber stamping your team. Okay. So I had a situation today, if you can hear it in that jumbled earlier mess of shitstorm that I gave earlier. I had a situation today where somebody brought up the TikTok ban, and they brought up in the same sentence that AOC, who's the liberal heroine. I can't say words right. If I don't hear them, I fucking say them wrong. So, but the conversation went, well, TikTok ban. I'm totally anti TikTok ban. I'm not saying, I can't say it enough. It's stupid. Anytime you ban something, you're fucking losing. But the idea was that because AOC was for the ban, that somehow my position should align with hers. And I absolutely reject that whole entire premise wholeheartedly, full-throated rejection. Because if you're going to be an idiot and just vote along with your party, you're going to be bamboozled. You're going to be disappointed. They're going to do things. You're going to be like, well, I didn't know. And this already happens, by the way. They're doing shit all the time, but you don't fucking read the paper or look at the bills. You don't care. I know. I don't care either, right? It's just like, all right, it doesn't affect me. Oh, Smucker's getting fucking more stocks or whatever in Meta. I don't know. I'm saying that didn't happen, but it really bothered me today. I mean, it bothered me so much that I was kind of plan on talking about this Facebook feed, which I can't show you now because my Facebook feed's all fucked up. But every single time I have the other agenda, I want to talk about other things. And I'll say, this one just drove me nuts. It came in and I'm like, I got to talk about this. Because I think that's a problem that persists across the board on every team, is that you just kind of blindly say, look, I'm a Democrat, so obviously the Democrats are going to do the right thing. Not all the time. And not sometimes they, accidental bipartisanship where they go to the other side for some reason. Maybe you're Joe Manchin and you live on the other side. I don't know. But the point is that we as citizens should always question that authority. That authority was, that person's another human being, just like you and me. They bleed, they take a shit, they get sick. There's nothing special. Maybe they have some experience things. They did some things that you didn't, but there's nothing uniquely special about that person. that they now have authority over you, other than we've created a system where we say, okay, look, now you're there, so we're going to give you this authority. But I mean, you can just fucking say, well, you know what? I don't agree with you and your authority. You can do what? I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to do anything violent, but I'm going to vehemently disagree with you. And I'm going to challenge you on every corner. And that's okay. I wish we had more internal challenges. I'd love to see Joe Biden have a challenger, but I'm not going to, at the risk of losing to an asshole. Of course not. But I mean, challenging things is how you check things. I mean, I say this all the time. It works in engineering. If you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. So you got to know what's going on. You got to know what your team's doing. And sometimes you got to stand against your team. And in the case of the TikTok ban, I don't care. As I said earlier, I whipped up a whole pile of sacrilege, which I'll try to gin up again. If Jesus Christ himself floated down after he was chilling, had some tea with God, the Holy Spirit, maybe a couple angels, and he flies down here and he pops open the door of my office and says, and the lights are blinding me and I can't see. And it's like, because he knows he's so glorious and I can't take, and he says, Nate, listen, I know I died and I came back for everybody else, but I'm making a special trip for you because I know you're a doubter. And I want you to know that the TikTok ban has been sanctioned by God himself. Me, as the vessel of God incarnate, I'm passing along the message to you that TikTok is banned. And I'm going to say, first of all, I'm going to be like, holy shit, that is crazy. You're real. I never knew. I thought it was just a myth. Wow. Holy shit. Are we still cool? Yeah, we cool. Remember, I was baptized twice. Sweet. I was baptized twice. So I'm good. I can be an atheist now. I'm fucking still in. But I say to him, with all due respect, what you just performed in front of me was amazing. Quite frankly, I'm still a little bit in shock that you're standing there. Quite frankly, I do a whole show where I talk about the fact that you don't exist and it's all made up shit. So the fact that you're standing there, Jesus, I got a lot of apologies to make. But on the other point that you made as you came down and floated, did all this amazing stuff, and at the risk of spending eternity in hell just because you're pissed off at this, I got to say God's wrong on this one. God is wrong on the banning of TikTok. And so, as you know, Jesus Christ himself came down to my office door, said TikTok ban is good. And I have, at my own risk, said, you're wrong. Who am I to challenge God, right? Who am I to challenge Jesus? Well, on the TikTok ban, I'm God, okay? And I'm not really God, but I'm saying that I think I have more. Look, Jesus Christ is good at floating, turning things into oil, water into wine, but he has no experience with the internet. He has never seen a chip. He's never worked with a computer. He doesn't understand how things work and how IP addresses work. Don't even tell me that God knows that. He doesn't. There's no way. Didn't exist when the Bible came. We know his knowledge is limited because he always asks questions and we have to pray. So he doesn't know everything. Otherwise, we wouldn't have to pray. Think about that. I'm praying right now and I'm not praying. That's how it should be. You're just praying like he knows. He's just in there. All right. Anyway, I'm just tired, and it's, this is the second live, and I'm winging it this time. I mean, I'm not winging it. My core point is it stands. Just because the Democrats have put forth legislation, it doesn't mean it's good. And Republicans can challenge that. We want a healthy debate, and we need debates within the party, and you don't need to rubber stamp everything. So again, I don't know why I got triggered. I just get triggered because I feel like I'm constantly testing, for whatever reason. It's so apparent groupthink just kind of sticks out to me. Like, why is everyone doing little story, since I'm just waxing poetic now? I remember younger years in elementary school and remember going to first grade. And I remember for a long time, probably until I was maybe in private school, 5th grade, I always felt like everyone knew what was going on and I didn't. Now, You're probably like, oh, well, everyone has that. It's fine. Okay. I'm normal. I'm just like you. Great. Nothing special about it. But what I kind of remember is like you kind of just like I was like, how do people know what's going on and how they know what's happening and what's and so it always amazed me when a group of people would just kind of do the right thing, and I was like, where's the like, and so I just assumed, I had ADHD all my life, so I just probably missed the directions because I was probably doing something and just the directions came through. So that was like in my mind that happened a lot. But I look back and I'm like, I think I heard the directions. I just didn't understand how people knew to coagulate into a group. So I'm not special. I just always kind of am gun shy about groupthink. And so the first thing is, maybe for whatever reason, my trauma makes me question everything. Being choked out as a child fucks you up a little bit. But I wonder if I wonder I'm so horrible. I wonder if that's true though. I wonder if I don't know. I just wonder if maybe my gut reaction to authority is because of the trauma, but is it now because I don't want that trauma to have to happen to someone else? I don't know. Look, I'm not going to do real-time psychology today, but I want to stick to my main point, which the first session was dope. If you missed the first session, it was good. It was spotty though. Don't listen to it. Delete it. Tell me to fuck off in the comments because it was so bad. The sound was awful. Not acceptable. But it's really important to me to kind of stay away from groupthink. And the trigger for tonight's session was, AOC, who we hold in high esteem, has a position that's wrong. It's completely wrong. And I go into that a little bit in the last session. You don't have to watch it. I'll get into more details, but it makes no sense. There's not been an argument presented by anyone coherent, any coherent argument that stands a little bit of digging about the ban of TikTok. It's literally you're watching the strings being pulled by the rich folks saying this is what we need to do to control the masses. It's nothing else. Stop. Full stop. Leave a comment and you can say your opinion. You're wrong. TikTok ban is fucking stupid as hell, and it's financial. Nothing to do with anything else. Oh, it annoys you because you don't like it because of video. That's fine. Trust me. I wish I could fucking ban everything that annoys me. Facebook would be gone if everyone could choose. Get rid of Facebook. People would be like, yes. Except marketing people, and probably me because it's easy to target you. You guys we're all products and you're fucking easy to find on this fucking platform. So trust me, this platform is great for finding little products like you and me. I lost my thought almost completely, but I know where I wanted to go with tonight. And after two sessions of kind of improvisation with a little bit of embellishment, it's a little bit winding. But I think it's important for us. The point that I want to make tonight is that it's important for you just to question things consistently. And that means, especially coming from folks that are in the same party. It's different than saying, okay, you can trust them because it's family. No, it's not the same. And even when it comes to family, I'm saying you can't trust everything. You got to question. I mean, let me just give you a per example when you don't trust family. If you're going into business with a brother, sister, uncle, nephew, niece, you don't trust them. You get a fucking contract, you put everything in writing. It's not anything against them. It's that relationships evolve and change. And today's high excitement dopamine of us getting to high five each other every day is going to quickly wear off when I'm tired of it and you hit me too hard. And then now I've got problem with the way you breathe. And now all those dreams of growing a partnership together, now I can't stand you and I don't even know how to separate. I just want to fuck you over. And so you get everything in writing. So you don't even trust your family when it comes to the financial kind of way of the world if you're doing it right. You actually, I think I have a brother who I will say infamously, maybe he doesn't remember, but I remember this story from my dad. He recommended he start a business and he said, make sure somebody has majority ownership. And I don't think my brother listened. Of course, they had three-way split and it fucking was painful for them to split it because they all had 33%. Okay. So kind of always have to have an arbiter. And in the case of winning or losing, I don't know where I was going with that. Fuck. Oh, that was a good point too. I was going to use my brother's example of just trusting. That's it. That was it. So again, my brother's doing great, by the way. I'm not wishing for his failure. He's running a successful, all doing wonderful. So I don't want anyone that knows the relationship there. I have no ill will towards him. But it's a great example. And I just remember because then when I went to go business, I'm like, oh, don't forget what happened to so-and-so. And I just made sure that I was 51% when I went into a partnership, and I had to sever the relationship, and it was the fucking greatest because I had control. So it was easier. I was able to do things, right? I was in charge. So I guess the core point is that you even family, you can argue there's situations where you might not want to trust them. And so I'm making the argument that in the case of legislators, there are so many reasons not to trust your legislator. It's ridiculous. Okay. So just because your legislator's on your team, just because his name's Lloyd Smucker, and maybe your last name's Smucker, or maybe your last name's Bomberger, and your last name's Miller or Stolzfus, and you got that good old Lancaster County Mennonite blood in you, as you can see I do, then maybe you have an affinity for him, but you got to look past that. I know he's adorable, but he's not always going to vote with the best interests of his constituents. We know for a fact that when it comes down to brass tacks, Mr. Smucker is going to choose his Washington cohorts over the voters of Pennsylvania. We watched him do it in 2020. So again, if you're a Republican, you're like, Nate, you're hating on Mr. Smucker. I love Mr. Smucker. Lloyd is a fantastic man. I don't like him as a legislator. I wish he'd get the fuck out and go back to his business. We could be friends and drink beer and all that stuff on the side while he's not filleting the president of the United States, who is a criminal. So you got to question everything, and that includes your party. And specifically on the TikTok ban, there's really no good reason for it other than there's some folks that don't like the fact that they can't control the messaging and they can't control. There's a lot of money being given back to the creators. Some of that company's employee owned. So not the full majority isn't owned by the Chinese, believe it or not. So the divestiture of whatever percentage of it is going to be, it's going to allow them to have more control over it, and probably majority state control, as I understand how the stock's broken up. But it's going to, the biggest thing is they're going to look at the money being made. They're going to be like, fuck this. We're not giving that to creators. They can get pennies. TikTok is a place where creators get paid well. That's why I'm excited about it. I'm like, holy shit. I already have there's already methods to make passive income on TikTok. I'm not doing anything really. I'm just at 1,000 and I've already got mechanisms. So when you talk about who they're benefiting with this, there's no one in America that's going to benefit more than the folks that are trying to buy TikTok with this ban. There isn't a national security threat. Facebook has already fully accomplished that vector, and we know that exists within Facebook. We know Russia has already penetrated the House Republicans. It's in writing from our intelligence, our own Republican-controlled majority of the people in intelligence being Republicans. Fucking intelligence department has said that our Republicans have been compromised. Okay? That's the reality. So check your messaging, check your party. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. Don't fucking just rubber stamp the legislation. And when it comes to things, when it comes to tech, if you're not sure where to stand, message me, call me, whatever. Most likely I'm going to have the right position. And if I'm wrong, I'm happy to admit it, but it's got to be data to push me off the cliff because it's data that got me up there. All right. So that's how it works. I know I sound like an authority sometimes when you're probably thinking, what the fuck do you know? Well, I'll be honest with you. I know quite a bit. And I mean, I remember being young and looking up and going, all these adults know all this shit. And now I'm an adult. And now I get to say I know some shit. And you're just going to have to take my word for it, apparently. And look at my LinkedIn and my credentials. I don't know. Fucking find out. But you got to question it. You got to question me. You know? As I said before, there was a reader that messaged me the other day and said, hey, I really like the fact that you also, told people to check yourself. And of course, I'm just a person. I'm just get my facts from many of the same resources that you have access to. Maybe I do a little bit more digging just because I'm fucking obsessive. But I'm going to put it on the record that just because the party that I'm a member of in the U.S. political system, I'm a registered Democrat. Easy choice for me. The other party's nuts. But I'm not going to just rubber stamp the things that Democrats have. I mean, Palestine, Israel is also a complex issue where I'm sure you have a strong position on if you're a human being. And I'm not rubber stamping the shit out of what they're doing right now with the Democrats. So I think it's important. I probably went off a little bit dramatic when I talk about this issue, but it's important that you understand, like, this whole venture that I'm doing is about getting to the right solution. It's not my solution. I'm going to stand by my solutions and my ideas and say they're right because I put a lot of thought into them. Of course, I'm a stubborn motherfucker. But God forbid everyone wants to prove me wrong because I'd say it with such confidence. So there you go. Prove me wrong. And then guess what? You get to celebrate and I get to humble myself. And what happens to me? I learned something. People did some work for me. They tried to prove me wrong. I didn't have to do anything. They just brought me the data that I was wrong. So great. We move on. But you got to question it. You got to question why I'm saying this shit. You got to question why your representative has you talking about Israel when you're just trying to go to work today. Why they have you talking about Ukraine? You're just trying to look. And I'm not saying I have not articulated my position on Ukraine in this show. I've not articulated in depth my position on Palestine-Israel conflict. I think you probably know where I stand on both of those if you think about it. Looking at my notes, my glorious notes, and I'm realizing that first one was good. And then, what I will say is the last time this happened, the video that was shit, that had no sound, I quickly deleted it. The video after that became my highest watched video. So it's got like 300 views or something like that, which, you're probably like, what the fuck, dude? This is progress. My eyes are literally getting heavy as I'm talking to you. So I'm going to wrap, and I want to let you know, I apologize about the sound. The one thing I said on the mic last session of the Jarbled speech was that I held back on a lot of the new stuff this week because, as you can see, every time I try something new, truth be told, right when I started tonight, there was a button. There was another button that said noise cancellation. I'm like, I got to click that. I don't know why. It's a problem. And so I'm not going to lie and say this problem wasn't self-induced today. It was a self-induced, clicking the shiny button. Fucking hackers can get me. Just make me click a shiny. Try this thing. It's brand new and it's going to improve your life. Maybe not really, but it's going to take you an hour to install it. But fuck. Sounds like a journey for me. That sounds like a nice little rabbit hole. So, but I did hold back. Look, that was just something on the setting, but I did hold back on a lot of the other things like the layouts and some of the whiz bang zoom effects that I want to get played out that I've been playing around with that aren't quite done. My goal would be to just be able to do this and then like hit a button, have that disseminate all the content, parse it out, put it into stuff. It's not possible. Everyone wants that, right? But I think with the programming stuff that I'm working on and some of the incremental changes, we're going to get this to the point where it's a one-man show and it looks like it's a team. That's a guarantee. It's going to take time, but you're going to have to bear with me. Look, I'm a one-man show, and this is something I'm doing on the side. I'd love to say I'm doing it full-time, but you guys ain't giving me enough money yet. When I am doing it full-time, of course, then we're going to hire experts to do whatever, or I'll be an expert by then. But I know it's painful, and I know sometimes you just delete it and you don't listen to it when it happens. And it pains me because, I really feel good about some of the things that I say. And I promise you, this isn't just me liking hearing myself talk. While there is a significant amount of dopamine that rushes through my brain, hearing my voice as it's coming out, not in recording, I do want to be accurate and think about what I'm saying and the impact of what I'm saying. And if this platform becomes what I want it to become, then my words will carry weight. I hope they carry weight today. I hope I don't need eyeballs or earballs just to carry weight, right? I feel like the things I'm saying are truth. They matter, and they matter to me at least, and they're my perspective. So, I will say I will wrap with this since I've been going now for almost fucking 2 hours. I want to wrap by saying, since I didn't really clearly say it last time, thank you to everybody. It's been rough. Facebook is punching me left and right with weird ass authentication issues. My main feed today just went down out of nowhere. If somebody does have my username and password, fine, but let's fucking fix it. I've got all the authentication. I can't see logins. I don't get emails. But it's been one of those days where it's been punch after punch. And you guys just kind of keep me going, even in days like even with today, knowing that I'm going through all this stuff. I was excited to get online and go live just because it's kind of my moment to share as well. And the respect that I've been getting from people that kind of watched me fail or succeed last time has been great. So I want to just end with a big thank you again. I know it kind of gets old and you're like, want to see the spice, and you're going to run into errors. But I imagine that if I continue on this trajectory, this small trajectory that you're seeing right now, and I work each week to improve, I think a year from now, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to recommend like this show and say, look, this shit's tight. I watched this guy fucking come from zero and it's looking good. And it's like, he's just doing that thing, and listen to what he's saying. And maybe you'll learn something. So that's the goal, right? We want to get our ideas out there. We want to vet them. We want people to challenge them. And then we want to make sure that the best ideas win if we really give a fuck about this system. I mean, I'm not going to fix the world, but I might as well yell and scream about it. I've got a first row seat to this whole thing. So why not me? I don't know. Why not? So that's where I'm going tonight. Don't just stick to your team. Make sure you're an individual. Continue to do one thing you're doing well, and that's supporting me. Literally, it's awesome. I'm going to say it. I had 4 views again on my YouTube video. I know that sounds weird, and someday I'll be like 4 videos, but it's like I had videos sitting with no views for a long time. So to have 4 views of a video when I just put it out is fucking amazing to me. And so, I mean, I'm serious when I say I was like, oh my word, I'm moving on up to the east side. Finally got up. Like, that's how I felt when I had 4 views. I'm like, all right, what do I do with this? What am I decorate this room? And I paint that. And I put that. And I put a lamp here there. And I'm gonna do that. And I'm like, it's a fucking little tiny house, but I'm excited. I feel like it's a mansion. All right. I don't know how much better I'm gonna get if I keep going. So thank you. Hopefully you hear sound on this one. I heard it on my iPad. It sounded good. Neil, you're fired from giving me sound advice. You said it sounds clear. It was horrible. I'm never going to fire you. I love you. And this is just a joke. And I'm saying it out of love, but absolutely horrible, horrible sound. Get your ears checked. Brandy, check his ears. But that's a shout out for you because you are the man and you give me a lot of support. So do you, and so do you, and so do you. I don't know how you guys feel about this. It almost posted it today, but I didn't. Maybe that's why I got hacked. Maybe they're fucking with me. But they have this mechanism where you can basically post the people that have the most engagement. And so I was going to post it, but I don't know if these people would want that publicity. Like, hey, I'm really into Nate's page. Look, I'm number 1. Do you want people to know that? I don't know. But if you're interested in that kind of metric, I can post it. Facebook makes it really easy to show who your top follower is. And I don't know if people are proud or ashamed or maybe they don't want to be identified with this show at this point. But I'm thinking about doing things like that to give shout outs because I do individually love every single one of you guys that give me views and watch and occasionally, somebody will sit down and just watch a bunch. So it's nice. I'm rambling again. My deepest apologies for the bad sound earlier. Does look like I'm ad hocing it, but you got to understand there's a lot of equipment going on here. And every day I'm working, I'm trying to get this set up. And when I make that shift, sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I don't. What I will say is that I've noticed improvement in this version of this show compared to, 3 years ago when I was doing it and I kind of said, and what it stuttered. Now I feel like I'm a little bit more direct. I'm more fluid. I think there's less filler words, and that's the hope. We see continued improvement. I'm excited. Thanks for the support. Hopefully you got something out of tonight. Biggest thing I want you to get out of is don't just rubber stamp your team. If you're a Republican, make sure you check out the legislation or you check out what the perspective is. And if you're a domain expert, stand by yourself. Stand by what you know. I'm a domain expert in software and in that kind of in the field of digital tech. I would consider myself a top tier expert in many ways. Pretty much anything dealing with software, I'm an expert. And so I say that because it's like, I hope that whatever you're doing at your job, you're an expert. I mean, it's not being cocky. It's saying this is what I do for a living, and I'm competent at. Right? I'm an expert. You got to question that. You got to question even the experts. You got to question. I'm sitting here. Your idea, who benefits from them. Don't just rubber stamp the ideas that come from your team. AOC may be rubber stamping the TikTok ban, but that doesn't mean all progressives need to. And certainly it would be the wrong position to take. Same thing goes with many other things. One could argue that the Israel-Palestine conflict has edges of that as well because of the controversy surrounding that. And I stay away from that issue because of where I'm at right now with all the social platforms. I'm just way in conspiracy land. So we are hopeful that that conflict gets resolved and that less people will die. That's how I feel about that right now on social media. I know it's fucking shitty, but that's what I gotta say. So in closing, make sure you check me out on Monday. Again, I'll be here at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do your thing, share, like, subscribe, continue to do it. If you want to give me 5 views on YouTube, go ahead. I'll be excited. I will give the shout out. I will say this. I'll just say right now, once I get to 100 views, I don't know what I'll do. I might get naked for the camera. And a lot of you guys don't care about that. A lot of you girls don't care about that. And I know I'm sure there's significant others that really don't care about that. But I will say, like, I am just so happy with the minimal amount of growth that I get there that I'm willing to do whatever to celebrate the incremental wins. Stay tuned. We'll see you Monday. Thanks for your patience. Give me stars. I have things set up now. You can give me stars and other shit. I think I made like $20 so far on stars. I didn't even know people were giving me stars, but you can give me stars too. I don't care. What the whole thing we're trying to do is grow this. So anything you give me goes right into this and goes into advertising and growth. So if this isn't how I'm making my living at this point. Although one can dream. One can dream. All right. It's time to go. Thanks for checking out. We'll see you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Hope to see you Monday.